Go Scrappy with twisted triangle templates using 2.5-inch strips of fabrics to create Scrappy twisted triangle quilts with ease. Here are the supplies that you will need to create the Scrappy twisted triangle quilts. You will need the twisted triangle template, rotary cutter, mat, and ruler, and 40 strips of 2.5 crosswise sections of fabric. Randomly sort your 40 2.5-inch crosswise strips of fabric into 3 piles, 2 that have 11 and 1 that has 18. Stabilize all your fabric well using spray starch or Mary Ellen's Best Press. It helps reduce the stretch of the fabric, giving you better and accurate results. Let it dry before you sew. I've started to pair up my 2 piles that have 11 strips in them, where we have a few of them on the board. We've brought right sides together, and now we're going to cut in 5-inch increments. We're cutting off the selvage at one end, and then we're going to cut at the 5-inch mark, and we would continue cutting every 5 inches down the whole length of our crosswise fabric strips, making sure that you cut all 11 pairs. Each crosswise strip of fabric will yield 8 5-inch sections. After they have been cut, then go to the sewing machine and sew a scant 1/4 inch seam. After your 1/4 inch seam is complete, press the seam flat and then press the seam open. Our pieces have already been sewn and pressed, and now we're going to be joining 5 random pairs together. Simply lay them out on the table, aligning short ends, and we're going to simply sew the short ends together and press the seams flat and open, and we would have created a new strata. Now we're going to take one of the long strips of the set-aside pile that had 18 long strips. We are going to pull the strips out and center it over the pieced patchwork. We're simply going to center it over the strip. We're going to again sew with a scant seam allowance, and now we have created a new Scrappy strata. Now the fun part, using the twisted triangle template. It has a long horizontal line that will line up with the longer seam. It also has the shorter lines that we will line up with these short seams. Simply stack them on the seams and use your rotary cutter, and we're going to cut on all 4 sides of the template. This one has already been cut ahead of time, so you can actually see the shape that is created. And again, we're simply going to cut on all 4 sides of the template. You do save all of the throwaway sections. They will be used to create the Scrappy border. Randomly put your twisted triangles together to create a Scrappy block. Enjoy using this template to create twisted triangle quilts.